Hey everybody, welcome to the first Unconquered podcast film session of the 2021 season. We're on the eve of the Notre Dame game, and we're going to take a look at the last matchup between Mike Norvell and Notre Dame's new defensive coordinator, Freeman, who is the defensive coordinator at Cincinnati under Luke Fickell. And you get a good sense of sort of how they're going to match up in this game and tendencies in terms of calling the game against one another. So figured we'd take a look at a few key things in this film. I'm not going to look at everything, but we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things that just give a sense of the personalities and the call style that you're going to see from Freeman, and then how Norvell responds to that. So again, this was the 2019 ACC championship game. This is the last time that they went against each other, and you can bet that they've each broken this film down quite a few times over the course of the offseason. Now, this first call, this is first play from scrimmage, and this is going to tell you a lot about Freeman's sort of tendency as a defensive coordinator, and that's specifically he has a cowboy or a cat blitz off the edge here, with the corner coming off the boundary side. And this tells you something just about his tendencies as a defensive coordinator. He's going to tend to try to bring pressure by default. More often than not, he's going to try to bring pressure, and he's going to try to do it from looks that don't necessarily show that pressure. He wants to change after snap and bring pressure from different angles. That's just his MO. Norvell, one of the things that you're going to see his team do a lot, what you're going to see Florida State do a lot, is what they do here to reveal where that blitz is coming from. And you'll notice they run a different snap count. You see the hard count here, clap up, and it reveals where the blitz is coming from. Now the quarterback sees that out of the corner of his eye, and can get rid of it. Receiver knows to sit down, and you get close to a first down out of it. This is the kind of cat and mouse game that you're going to see in this game. You're going to see a lot of varied snap counts from Florida State in this game because of how Freeman likes to change things up and bring pressure from different angles after the snap. So they're going to try to find ways to force Notre Dame to reveal what they're doing before the snap. So we're going to move forward on a couple things. Not going to show too much here, not really interested there. But this is something I think you're going to see a lot of against Notre Dame with Florida State's current personnel. You're going to see a lot of 21 personnel where you're going to have two tights, one back, and you're going to see a nub, or you're going to see no receiver to the boundary side quite often. And of course, those of you who know anything about football know I just misspoke. That should be 12 personnel, but anyway, doesn't matter. 12 personnel, one back, two tights should be what I said there. But in any case, you're going to see a lot of 12 personnel, I think, in this game if they have their druthers, especially when Jordan Travis is in the game, because that essentially gives you two running backs. And you're going to see Jordan Wilson and you're going to see... the name's now escaping me, the actual starting tight end, Cam McDonald, who you're going to see both of those guys on the field, and they're going to do some different things up front to try to even out that front, to try to get them into some gain a gap situations and scenarios to be able to run the football better. So you're going to see some of that. You see twins to the field, nothing to the boundary with that 12 personnel. So you're going to see some of that. They also ran a lot of power and counter in this game, more gap stuff. Now, one thing that's different, you'll see a lot of odd front type looks from Cincinnati in this game. Notre Dame doesn't have the personnel for that, and so they're going to default to more even personnel like this. But in terms of what they're playing on the back end and the actual schemes that they're running, it's going to be pretty similar. So you're also going to see some of this, where you're going to see this little four-man situation to one side, and you're going to have your running back here. They're basically just trying to force a good personnel situation here. And with Jordan Travis at quarterback, don't be surprised if you see this more than once in this game, because again, Travis at quarterback is your best running threat. And if this guy leaves the box, now you're 5-on-5, and you've got Travis as that extra man, one-on-one with the safety. You feel pretty good about that. That's what they're trying to do. And if that guy doesn't walk out, then you just kick it out there right away, and you get maybe a Ja'Kai Douglas or someone like that in the open field. That's what they're trying to do, or Helton, maybe less likely to be there. Most likely to be that 3-back. Once again, here's something I think you're going to see a bunch of in this game, and that, again, is a nub formation where you're going to have 12 personnel, and then you've got the extra tight end and the at the H-back on the outside here. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to force this formation to where they can run to this edge where basically they're able to block everybody inside or get a big on one of these littles and be able to get to that edge. So you see this here, and you notice this is something I think we'll definitely see in this game. This is not actually a handoff. This is a little counter lead with the quarterback, or really a lead sweep with the quarterback. And you can see that this is going to be Jordan Travis in this role at the quarterback position. You put this nub formation in, you're able to pin the edge down, get the arc block to the backer, you get a puller here, and then you get a lead blocker, and you've got numbers to the edge. That's a tough call for that defense. So this is going to be interesting to see how they handle this. Really what they're going to have to do is probably bump the backer here and bump down a little bit, which then allows you to do some things on that 2 receiver side, because that turns into one-on-one over there. But this is the sort of thing that I think you're going to see Florida State do a bunch on Sunday against Notre Dame, where you're going to see these kind of quarterback sweeps to the nub. You're going to see nub formations where you're going to see a little bit of bash concept, a back away, quarterback running inside. There's going to be a few different types of things out of this look, and you can see they busted a big play here, nearly scored. Travis probably scores on that, given his wheels. But this is the sort of thing, and of course, is Gainwell at that position. But this is the sort of thing that I expect to see them do a lot, because it did give Cincinnati and Freeman some trouble in that ACC championship game. And once again, you see the same formation, this time the nub into the boundary, running the same play, something that Norvell's not ashamed to do. If it works and it's one of your alert plays, go ahead and run that back. See if they can stop it the second time. What do you see again? This time you have the traditional quarterback in, and again, you can see how this might work. You put Mackenzie Milton in now, and you've got Jordan Travis maybe moving to another spot or coming off the field, depending, and now you're throwing the football in a different situation. Well, here, once again, you've got the nub, and the thing that's interesting about the nub formation with the back to that side is this is really trips. So you actually have to cover this with that extra player to cover the outside guy, and they run a little mesh concept and score here. It's really nice, actually, bringing that from the Twins side. So this is the sort of thing that I think you're going to see a lot of from Florida State against Notre Dame. You're going to see some of that 12 personnel. You're going to see some of those nub formation runs. I don't think you'll see as much of this 2-back situation, but I want to call attention to what they do here. This is actually an RPO here. He's actually checking the whole shot here. Pulls that, throws that little glance route. You're going to see plenty of this. If he runs with him and you don't have him sitting in the on the inside, you just take that away, and that turns into a big play. And once again, this is easy stuff if you can get those matchups. And again, they're willing to play man coverage. They were willing to play man coverage against Memphis for this is man-free coverage for Cincinnati. It's really, might be, it's Robber, actually. Robber, where they're funneling that, but he's able to hit the window in front of the funnel, and safety takes a bad angle. You got a fast guy, and you got another big play. They're going to try to hit those glance routes plenty in this game. They did it some to Notre Dame last year anyway. But, again, a year in, you can preferably get more. You've got more reps in terms of what's going on there. They should be able to execute that better than they did last year. So here's true triple option. Don't know how much of that we'll see in this game. It's not really this group's strong suit, but you might see it with Travis at quarterback. So let's get moving. And once again, here you're in a, this is an advantageous down and distance. Just running a little RPO counter here. Actually, that's power. Once again, here we have counter read or power read. Let the quarterback keep it. You're going to see plenty of this. We saw a lot of that with Travis last year. Get the first down. Running the same thing here. And now you've got a guy completely honoring the quarterback, and you gain numbers. So you see plenty of that stuff in this game. All right, let's get moving. There's another play in here I want to see. Let's find it. All right. Yep, should be coming up. I don't think you'll see as much of this two-back set in this game. But once again, you can see here, you've got that nub to the boundary, or actually in this case, it's in the middle of the field, but you've got nub to one side. I think you're going to see quite a bit of this. I think he likes the way that matches up to how Freeman calls this and how he aligns his safety in particular. I think he feels like he can get that kind of thing. And in this case, again, you've got Gainwell, and all of a sudden, everything gets sealed, and he's able to bounce that out back. I think you're going to see a lot of runs where you've got a nub-type formation in this game. It's poor execution there. Once again, what do we see? In this case, it's unbalanced. So you've got 4 receivers to this side. Here's your end man on the line of scrimmage. There's nobody out here. And they've got a coverage guy out here. Really 2 coverage guys. So they are actually out of alignment. You should have an advantage from one of these 2 slots. That's what you're thinking. Or you can run it backdoor. It's not exactly what I would like, but you feel like you can come back to that if they align that way again. And again, I think you'll see that kind of thing in this game. You're going to see some unbalanced looks. You're going to see 4 to the field, some different things to try to get advantages against what Freeman does when he matches up against those kinds of things. I think he's pretty aggressive to the formation side. And so what do? You put formation away, and you handle a lot of that formation away. So here's your standard 4 verts. You definitely see some of this, and with as aggressive as they get in their single high, you can go opposite that safety. And if you've got a guy that can do this in the inside, well, you definitely want to do it if you got a guy that can do that. But again, I think you're going to see a healthy amount of shots taken downfield against the defense that, if they have a significant concern coming into this game, it's at the corner position, and are they going to be able to do what's necessary to be able to cover down the field on some of those deep shots? Can Florida State get a couple deep shots that'll change the game? So they're going to try to set some of that up with what they're doing formation wise. All right, I think that's it. I was just going to go through the first half, which showed a decent amount of what we're going to see in this game. So we're going to go ahead and wrap there. Be interesting. Plenty of things to look at if you're if you're a scheme junkie in this game. There's going to be a lot of chess played in this game between the 2 coordinators. Should be fun to watch. I'll break it down a little bit afterwards. This has been the Unconquered Podcast Film Session. I'm your host, Jason Staples. Thanks to all of you who are Patreon subscribers.